Hey everyone, it's Kenji. We're gonna make some stir-fried eggs with tomatoes. It's a very classic home-style Chinese dish, although eggs and tomatoes is a common combination around the world. All right, so we're gonna start by cooking some eggs. We've got 4 eggs here. Actually, I'm gonna start by preheating my wok. So we're gonna preheat over high heat. By the way, this is a 100% brand new wok. This will be the first thing I've ever cooked in it. All I did to this wok so far was give it a very brief initial seasoning. So I heated it up, scrubbed out the coating that it comes with, and then rubbed in some oil and heated it on every surface just until it turned black like this. That's all I've done to it so far, just one quick layer of seasoning. And so we'll see how it does with these eggs. It should be fine. All right, so I'm gonna start with 4 eggs. I think the recipe in my book calls for 6 because it serves a few people. This was gonna be just for me and the kiddo. So 4 eggs is plenty. In Colombia, there's this dish called huevos pericos, which is eggs scrambled with tomatoes and scallions, green onions. And I always found it really interesting that that dish is so similar to this one. My grandmother used to make this dish as well. She called it tol tama for tomato, tomato, and tama, which is tamago, Japanese for egg. And of course there's like dishes like, shakshuka or menemen and all these other egg and tomato dishes. Eggs in purgatory, like all over the world, people seem, huevos rancheros, people like eggs and tomatoes together for some reason. So I put a little bit of salt in there. I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar as well. And just a touch of MSG and some white pepper. I'm also gonna actually add a little bit of fish sauce. I like fish sauce in these eggs. So a little dash of fish sauce there. Pretty simple otherwise. Okay, so we're looking for eggs that are lump-free, like this. And meanwhile, I've got this cornstarch slurry, so all that's in here is about a teaspoon of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water. I'm gonna pour half of that into my eggs. It's gonna help them keep more tender as they cook. I'm also gonna take some of this butter, a couple tablespoons of butter that I've cut into little cubes. Both of those things are gonna make the eggs stay a little more tender as they cook. Tender and juicy. I want them. All right. So let me rub a tiny film of oil into this wok. Basically, I'm just going to put the oil in to tell if it's hot enough. Oh, and that is definitely hot enough. Okay, smoking hot. Good. Probably even too hot for my eggs. Okay, so whenever we're doing eggs, anything in a wok, I always preheat on high, and then when I'm doing eggs, I turn it all the way down to low so that I don't completely burn the eggs when they go in. But preheating on high is what's going to get the eggs so that they don't stick. Some oil in there. Eggs go right in. Not perfectly non-stick, but again, this is the very first time I'm using this wok, so I think we're doing pretty good. Sorry, I meant to be using the wok spatula. This is a prototype wok spatula that the folks at Earlywood have made and sent to me for some feedback. I asked them if they could come out with a wok spatula. I don't get any money from them, by the way, but I asked them if they could come out with a wok spatula because I like their stuff and I would really like a wok spatula made by them. And so they're working on that, and this is one of the early prototypes. I think it needs to be a little bit wider. All right, so now we're gonna cook the rest of the stuff back over high heat, a little more oil. I'm gonna chop up this tomato. I'm using this beefsteak tomato. You can use Aroma or you can use plum, whatever tomato you got. works fine. Romas tend to work actually really well because they get nice and saucy, but you know, this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. Oh, hold on, Chubb, I'll let you in. Cut into chunks. Just a second, Shabu. Sorry, we got all these. The little kid is crawling now, so we've got all these gates around. All right. I'm using these garlic chives. You can use scallions. Typically I would use scallions, but I actually had all these garlic chives, so that's just what I'm using now. Chives in, tomatoes in. Reduce the heat down a little. I apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. Thankfully not COVID. All right, so now the key here, we're gonna start seasoning these tomatoes. Okay, so we're gonna use a little salt, a little sugar, a little MSG. Now here's the trick, some ketchup. I swear virtually every Chinese family I've spoken to uses ketchup in their eggs with tomatoes. But don't feel bad about doing it. All right, so it's getting a little saucy. Finish it up with this last bit of that cornstarch slurry. I'm gonna get some rice in my bowl here. Now the eggs can go right back in. And there, that's basically it. Oh, let me add a little bit of, I like to add a little cilantro to mine. All right, delicious. A little in that bowl. Save the rest for later. Or save the rest for my kid. That's it. Super duper simple. Home style. Egg with tomato. I'll link to you know, Wang Gong, the YouTube chef from Sichuan. He has a yummy. He has a video where he shows multiple different ways to make this dish, which is definitely worth watching. But this is one easy way to do it. That's good enough for now. Here you go. Good boy. Shabu, sit. Sit. Good girl. All right, guys, gals, non-binary pals. See you next time. Bye-bye.